In the beginning, before mountains pierced the sky or oceans mirrored the moon, the universe was nothing but a vast, trembling emptiness, a place without shape, without time, without light. This formless abyss was called chaos, a swirling, breathless void where existence slept in silence and darkness. It was not evil, for evil did not yet exist. It was not good, for goodness had no meaning. It was simply there, immeasurable, eternal, and waiting. From this eternal stillness, a pulse stirred, a slow, deep heartbeat that echoed through the nothingness. And from chaos, Gaia arose, Mother Earth, ancient, powerful, infinite in her patience. She emerged not as a warrior, but as a presence, vast, fertile, and alive. Her body formed mountains, her breath became the wind, and her thoughts shaped the first dreams of the cosmos. Yet even Gaia, mighty as she was, felt the emptiness around her. So she brought forth a companion, Uranus, the sky. He rose above her like a shimmering dome of blue and starlight. He gazed upon Gaia, and she upon him, and creation began to blossom between them. Every night, Uranus descended upon Gaia, and from their union came beings of immense strength, beings who would shape the destiny of gods and mortals alike. The Titans, tall and proud, the Cyclopes, with their single blazing eye, and the Hecatonchires, monstrous giants with 100 arms and 50 heads. But Uranus looked upon his children with fear. Their power was frightening, their potential limitless, and fear, even in the earliest age, gave birth to cruelty. Before any of them could grow, Uranus seized his children and thrust them deep into the bowels of the earth, into a dark, suffocating prison soon to be known as Tartarus. Gaia, writhed in agony, forced to carry the weight of her own children trapped inside her. Her pain split the mountains. Her sorrow trembled through the oceans. And eventually, pain turned to rage. Gaia crafted a plan. She forged a blade, sharp, cold, and gleaming with the fury of a mother wronged. A scythe carved of unbreakable diamond. But she needed a hand to wield it. One by one, Gaia called upon her sons, yet fear silenced the Titans. None dared to strike their father. None except one, Cronus, the youngest Titan, ambitious, bold, driven by a hunger for power that burned hotter than fear. Cronus took the blade from Gaia. He hid in the shadows of night, waiting. And when Uranus descended upon Gaia once more, the Titan struck. With one merciless swing, Cronus severed the sky from the earth. His father's scream tore through creation, a sound so violent it painted the heavens red with blood. Uranus fell, defeated, and Cronus, triumphant, claimed the throne of the universe. Gaia was free, and Cronus, intoxicated by victory, ushered in a new era. The world entered what would be remembered as the Golden Age, an age where men lived without toil or war, where the earth offered abundance without effort, and where harmony stretched across the land like the warmth of eternal spring. But even in an age of gold, shadows find a way to grow. For Cronus remembered the curse uttered by his father. As you have overthrown me, so too shall your own child overthrow you. That prophecy poisoned Cronus's heart, and fear twisted him into a tyrant far worse than the father he had dethroned. Every time Rhea, his wife and sister, bore a child, Cronus swallowed the infant whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, 5 divine beings, swallowed into darkness before their first breath could be cried. Rhea mourned each child in silence, but sorrow eventually hardened into resolve. When she became pregnant again, Rhea sought refuge far from Cronus's watchful gaze. She descended to the island of Crete, where a hidden cave waited, its mouth veiled by vines and ancient stone. There, she gave birth to her youngest son, Zeus, strong lungs, bright eyes, a destiny woven into the fabric of the cosmos. She held him only for a moment before surrendering him to forest nymphs who would raise him in secret. And in Cronus's palace, Rhea presented her husband a stone wrapped carefully in swaddling cloth. Blind with paranoia, Cronus devoured it without suspicion. Meanwhile, far from the Titan's tyranny, young Zeus grew. The nymphs fed him with honeyed milk. A divine goat nourished him. An enchanted eagle taught him the secrets of the skies and the whispers of the earth. And when Zeus reached adulthood, he learned the truth. He learned of his father's savagery. He learned of his imprisoned siblings. He learned of the prophecy that named him the liberator of Olympus. And he did not tremble. Zeus sought counsel from Oceanus, the Titan of rivers, who had remained neutral in the disputes of the gods. From him, Zeus received a potion, one capable of forcing Cronus to regurgitate whatever he had swallowed. Disguised as a cupbearer, Zeus presented the drink to Cronus. The Titan lord accepted it, smug and oblivious. Moments later, he convulsed. His body twisted, and one by one, the swallowed gods emerged from his depths. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and the stone that had once fooled him. The world shook as the rightful heirs returned to the light. United for the first time, the siblings rallied behind Zeus, who declared the inevitable: war. Cronus and his loyal Titans fortified themselves atop Mount Othrys. Zeus and the Olympian gods rose from Mount Olympus. For 10 years, the sky split with lightning, and mountains shattered like glass. Titans hurled boulders the size of cities. Gods unleashed storms that drowned valleys and burned forests. But neither side could gain the upper hand. Then Zeus descended into Tartarus. There, chained in darkness, the Cyclopes waited, children of Gaia, imprisoned for their father's paranoia. Zeus freed them, and in gratitude, they crafted gifts for the gods of Olympus: thunderbolts for Zeus, a trident for Poseidon, a helmet of invisibility for Hades. With these weapons, the war shifted. Zeus's thunderbolts roared across the sky, splitting the battlefield with fire. Poseidon's trident shook the seas and cracked the earth. Hades vanished into shadow and reappeared behind Titan lines, striking from the darkness. But even these powers were not enough. So Zeus released the Hecatoncheires, the 100-armed giants, the most terrifying beings ever born of Gaia. Their arrival changed everything. In a storm of fists and fury, they crushed the Titan army. Cronus fell, and Zeus, wielding lightning itself, struck him down. The Titans were chained and cast into Tartarus, their prisons sealed with gates forged by Poseidon. All except one. Atlas, the Titan general, was sentenced to bear the weight of the heavens upon his shoulders for all eternity. Peace returned. But peace in mythology is a fragile thing. Gaia, mother of the Titans, looked upon the chains of her children, and her grief turned to wrath. To avenge them, she forged a monster unlike anything creation had ever seen: Typhon, a creature of storms and shadows, taller than mountains, his wings blocking out the sun, his hands grasping at the stars. His voice was the howl of hurricanes, his breath the fire of the earth's core. Even the gods trembled. When Typhon ascended Mount Olympus, the gods fled in terror, taking the forms of animals to hide themselves across the deserts of Egypt. Only Zeus remained. Their battle tore the world apart. Zeus hurled bolt after bolt, each one powerful enough to destroy a mountain. Typhon retaliated with storms that drowned entire ranges, and winds that tore forests from their roots. At one point, Typhon seized Zeus, stole his tendons, and hid them under the guard of Echidna, the serpent woman. But Hermes and Pan, swift and cunning, retrieved the tendons and restored Zeus. The king of gods rose again. With poisoned fruit weakening the monster, Zeus summoned a thunderbolt unlike any he had ever cast. A bolt forged not from anger, but from purpose. He hurled it into Typhon's skull. The monster fell, screaming, as he was buried beneath Mount Etna. And to this day, the mountain spits fire, remnants of Typhon's eternal fury. With chaos tamed, Titans imprisoned, and Typhon defeated, the cosmos finally exhaled. Zeus claimed the sky. Poseidon took the seas. Hades ruled the underworld. The world was divided. The order was set. A new age began, the age of the Olympians. From the ashes of war emerged a pantheon of gods who would shape the destiny of mortals, heroes, and kingdoms for thousands of years. And at the summit of it all stood Zeus, the one who rose from secrecy to sovereignty, from prophecy to power, the King of Kings, the Lord of Thunder, the ruler of Olympus. His reign marked the end of chaos and the beginning of myth.